Had a lot of choreography in her hand. She had a lot of choreography in her neck, and they was both working together at the same time on every syllable of what she was saying.
What's up, peeps? Welcome back to another video of CC's
Jewel.
We have decided on our uploading schedule. We will be doing our long chit-chat talks and uploading those on Sunday. We'll be also
on the Lord's Day.
On the Lord's Day,
Thank
y'all.
you, Jesus.
And then we'll be doing a shorter video, a fun challenge or whatever we can come up with on Wednesdays. So as you guys can see by the title, today's video is about becoming exclusive. And yes, it's true, Johnnie curved me. He curved me, y'all. Super embarrassing, but we'll get there. So we're gonna start off by talking about the stages of talking, quote unquote, and becoming exclusive. So first stage, obviously it's talking. Now talking can mean a lot of different things to a lot of people. Like, y'all can be shacked up and y'all talking. Y'all could be talking and texting for a couple of, weeks, but y'all are talking. Y'all could be full on dating for 2 years, but y'all are talking. My definition of talking is we're talking on the phone for 2 weeks, we're texting, we're getting to know each other.
Talking is, in the Black community specifically, one of the most ambiguous stages of relationships. And so, I hope that we can provide some clarity.
So in my opinion, talking should last 1 to 2 weeks. And at that point, you need to realize, okay, I'm feeling this. Let's take it further. Let's start dating. Or, we're probably better off friends. At this point, at our age, we're grown. I don't have time for games. And that needs to be something that you make sure you tell your partner. Either we're going to talk, and we're going to date, or we're going to cut it off.
Honestly, I think that if you are talking to somebody, you should actually come out of talking to somebody knowing how they communicate, having had some significant conversations with the person. Because we could be talking to somebody for months and still not know a person because you're not even really having a lot of good conversation. So as you're talking with the person, you should be critical in how the conversation is going. You should be critiquing the conversation.
Talking should be intentional. It should be intentional.
Cheers.
Once you've determined that you want to take your relationship further, then you go into the dating phase. Now, our dating phase lasted about 3 months. I've known people to date for 5 to 8 months, which is fine. You take it at whatever pace you want to. It really depends on the person. Because, you can fall in love with the person after 1 month, and y'all can be off and married. But some people, it just takes longer to date them and get to know them before you determine, okay, I want to become serious with you.
It's important that we think about how much diversity in successful relationships exist. So don't let people fool you into thinking that there is a right amount of time. What we do want to encourage you to think about is making informed decisions and making conscious decisions on moving your relationship to the next level. Once we chose to move in that direction with each other, we knew it was what we wanted at that point. So at the end of the dating phase, you should know, win, lose, or draw, what it's going to be. You should know that you want to be with this person, or you know what, this person's going to be a really good friend, or it was nice knowing you.
The most important thing is that you don't waste people's time. People don't like their time being wasted.
And a lot of ways we waste time is being in denial about the prior phases of the relationship. We start to ignore things, signs, behaviors, characteristics, mannerisms that people show us when we are talking to them, the way we communicate with each other, the way people choose to date us, or the lack thereof, and the way that they treat us in between that time.
I actually had a blind date set up while we were dating. And I chose to forego that blind date because I actually had real feelings for Johnnie. So I think that's important to think, like, do I really want to be with this person exclusively, or do I still want to date around? Which is fine. That's fair. As long as you're being open and honest with the other person.
You're not necessarily in a monogamous relationship.
Yeah.
Right? You can be having conversations with and getting to know a lot of people at that time. But when you make the active choice to date somebody from the talking phase, you are literally communicating to a person that, hey, I'm seeing a potential of more. That's what that communicates.
We moved out of the talking phase within 2 weeks. And Johnnie took me out on a date to Texas Roadhouse. Now, I'm thinking it's just going to be a casual date. You know, we're just going to have good conversation. Within that date, Johnnie laid it all out. He's like, look, this is what I'm looking for in a relationship. This is what I won't tolerate. Either you're going to be with me or you're not. Like, the conversation, that whole date was strictly about dating. Are you going to date me? Are we going to be together? He also told me, I don't want to do long distance. Now, here's some background. At the time, I was a senior at Iowa State, getting ready to leave and find a job wherever that was going to take me. I wanted to have a fresh new start. I didn't want anything tying me down. When Johnnie told me, look, I don't want to do long distance, it gave me a lot to think about. You know, do I actually want to pursue this relationship? How important is it to me whether or not I stay with Johnnie?
Let me give y'all my whys behind why I was coming like that, because I did come a little hard.
Woo! I was in there sweating.
So I came like that for a few reasons. One, I wanted to dispel the notions of dudes be on games, right? And dudes be uncertain.
Yeah.
Sometimes a guy's uncertain with you. That doesn't mean he's uncertain with what he wants. We know what we want. I knew what I wanted, so I could speak from that lens very early on. That did not mean that she was going to provide that to me. That did not mean that she had it. That means that this is the standard that I am looking for in a relationship. And I came into it knowing what that standard looked like. And I put it out there to see if she was able to handle that, if she was interested in showing me that she could handle that, and if she had if her interest was in a similar place. Make it plain. Write the vision and make it plain. Mm-hmm. That's what the words say. And so for me, I wanted to go into it knowing that. I think a lot of times we hide what our expectations of relationships are, thinking that it's like a hidden treasure for people to figure out. And then when you never learn it, and then you're unhappy and you've been talking to somebody for 2 years and they still don't know how to take care of you, it's because you weren't plain about what the expectations of taking care of you look like. I didn't want to waste time going through that. And if you didn't have what it took to take care of me in the way I wanted to be, then you was going to know up front, like, this is not for me, I can't do it. And if you can't do it, you can beat it. That honestly was my understanding. And I knew then, like, that would separate me from how typical guys and how typical people who not looking for relationships and they looking to waste time act. Yeah. And I wasn't looking to do any of that.
Communication is key when you're dating somebody. Like, you need to be upfront about everything. You need to lay it out, or else you're going to be guessing the entire time, and nobody wants to deal with that. Period. So I really did appreciate Johnnie laying it out for me. It was very insightful.
I have also been on the other side of it, where I've been on games, or I wasn't looking for nothing.
Yeah.
Some people be looking, but don't be looking for a damn thing, y'all. Write that down. Some people they be looking for stuff. They be looking for things, but relationships ain't one of them.
Yeah.
Right? People find themselves attracted to the mystery, but sometimes the mystery is toxicity. You're toxic. You are not good for me. You're not what I need. And you trying to just hide that by not saying anything at all. And we sometimes mask that with what our expectations of other people, what we want them to be, what our ideas of people are.
So we continued to date for about a month or so. We moved into spring break. Now, Johnnie and I, our homes are within 15 minutes of each other back in Chicago. I remember I was out shopping with my mother, and Johnnie texted me. He said, hey, I just asked my mom if my girlfriend could stay the night. Now, this was the first time the G word had been introduced. So I'm looking at my phone like, okay. So I went to his house that night. I'm pretty sure I didn't tell my mother where I was going. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching this. The next morning, after staying the night at Johnnie's house, we were pillow talking, and I said the most dreaded words that any person can ever hear. What are you? Now, what prompted this question is because he threw out that girlfriend word the night before. Now, we had never put a label on what we were, but when he outside of dating. But when he said, hey, I asked my mom if my girlfriend could come over, I'm like, okay, well, we have some talking to do since the G word has been introduced.
Y'all, this one is something else. The content of the message wasn't the issue, right? It was the delivery of the message. She delivered the message in a way that invoked this a certain response from me.
But how else was I supposed to take it? You called me your girlfriend.
But do you know how you asked me what are we?
I asked you, what are we? In a regular, normal tone.
See? It was abnormal.
There was no attitude. There was nothing.
Plenty of tude.
There was no tude.
Plenty of it. Regardless, I had to make plain what that was. I still respected that she asked it, and I provided the answer that needed to be and that she needed to hear at that time, which was
he curved me, y'all. He told me no. He told me we're not putting a title on this.
She asked for what are we? And I said, we're not ready to be in a relationship. And I said specifically that she was not ready to be in a relationship. And that was true.
Which I can respect.
Just because you want a title does not mean you know why. And it does not mean you know how to maintain it. At that time in the relationship, we hadn't explored intimately past hurts, past traumas. Mm-hmm. What was your last relationship like? What was the one before that? The things that we seldom think about inform the way we have relationship with people, and we hadn't thoroughly explored that.
Yeah.
And so for me, I wanted us to have that. I don't want to deal with the baggage that you should have dealt with before you got with me. And I wanted to make that clear up front. And also, I don't want you dealing with baggage that you didn't create in me, that I was dragging around and lugging around. I also wanted to make it clear that I still cared about her seriously. I did see the potential for a relationship, or we wouldn't have dated. I'm not spending a dime on a person that I don't see potential in. I feel like when you spend money on somebody and you invest into something and somebody, that's a serious gesture. And so once that happened, I knew then that we were moving towards a relationship, but at that moment it wasn't time.
I'm going to ask you this question. When do you feel like we have the title? Because I'm going to let you guys on a secret. Johnnie never asked me out. Now, I feel like at our age, it's childish to be like, you want to be my boyfriend? Like, we don't do that. It kind of just organically happened. We knew that we didn't want to date other people. We knew we wanted to date each other.
The date for me was the date that we started seriously dating, and I started investing into the potential of our relationship. And that happened in February. For me.
Yet, March, he told me that we had no title. Our anniversary, quote unquote, is February 25th. We didn't make things official until like April 1st. So why that is because we kind of just picked a date. We realized we didn't have a date that we were official. We needed an anniversary. So we kind of just picked a date. And that day was the day that we had our first date. If you guys have not watched the other video, please go back and watch it.
Look, y'all, she's saying that we didn't have a title, but that's specifically saying we didn't have the title of boyfriend and girlfriend. We were dating.
Yes, we were dating at that point.
Dating. That is a title. So for me, that stage mattered to me because I knew that there was no other place to go except for being in a serious relationship with one another. When was the first moment I knew that this is a person I want to move forward with? And that's where the February date come from for me.
So I think I knew we were official, like exclusive, boyfriend, girlfriend. That's my man. That's my boo. When Johnnie moved all of his stuff in with this big old Santa sack, he moved it into my apartment, toiletries and all. I said, oh, okay, we're dating. This is it. We're exclusive.
We would spend a lot of time together. We liked being around each other. She never told me to go home.
And he never did.
She didn't want me to.
We dated without a title for about 3 months.
Without the title of boyfriend.
Without, yes.
And if you're going to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Get to know each other.
That's important.
Let go of this talking phrase, and then you're doing everything under the sun, but still talking. Yeah. That's a tunnel that you don't want to go down. Yeah. And then once you go down, and if the person doesn't want to be with you, or if they've never wanted to be with you, when you do ask for the relationship, they're going to tell you, you gave me everything under the sun already.
Why would they want to make it a title? Why do we need
to be in a relationship with each other?
Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
And then that becomes a cycle of toxicity, toxic behavior. I know a lot of people is wearing out the word toxic, but that's truly toxic.
Yeah. We want to give a big shout out to everyone who responded to our question on Instagram. We got some really good responses. We cannot wait to do these videos, y'all.
Y'all that left suggestions about issues that's happening in black couples and black love, y'all came with it.
Woo!
If y'all haven't followed us yet on Instagram, here's our pages.
TheyLove_C. Go ahead and say yours, Majetica. And if you guys didn't catch that, it's also linked in our description box, as well as on our main page. So that's going to wrap up today's video, and we will see y'all next time.
Next time. Santa Claus, wow, go straight to the ghetto.